Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Many a True Nerd, and welcome back to Skies of Arcadia, where last time, Vi survived a harrowing 2 weeks stranded on a desert island, while Fina and Ica got jobs in a bar in Nasrad, and yes indeed, thanks to some wild coincidences, Vi and Ica did not reunite in Nasrad, despite literally staying in neighbouring hotel rooms. And we're not done with the delightfully silly coincidences yet, because yes indeed, Vise and Ica are both ended up with half a map leading to the same secret pirate treasure. So okay, how about we just, jump into this dungeon and have an explore as to how it all works, because I love this dungeon. This dungeon is just absolutely cocky great, and part of it to my mind is, yes, the way the teams are divided. So right here, team number 1 is Ica and Fina. Just get over here and straight away we've got ourselves a brand new weapon, though. Ooh. Okay, this is a bit of a tricky one, actually. I mean, sure, that's a tiny bit stronger than what we've got, but we're losing a lot of accuracy, so you know what? No, I'm sticking with the weaker weapon. I want the accuracy, damn it. But yes, indeed, as we just mosey around the corner in just a second, there we flipping go, we've got some enemies, and yes, what I really love about this dungeon is the way the teams have got themselves divided, because both teams have got some really cocky big weaknesses that mean they play very differently. After all, Ica and Fina are two fairly similar characters in all sorts of ways. They are both not particularly strong physical attackers, relying instead on magic. And they're also both pretty damn flimsy. Not much health and not much defense, they're gonna take a lot of damage very fast. So we're gonna be using a lot of magic and desperately trying to stay alive because, yes, it's not gonna take too many hits to put us in the danger zone. So okay, here's the plan. Bear in mind, of course, yes, we've not got much spirit because this team is only made up of half the team. So Ica, you're going to use Piri, and yes, as for Fina, we should be able to get beautiful Crystales off. So the Piri should work well against, yes, hang on, what are you guys? Feralisks, because you're green-coded, and the Central, correct, your blue-purple works well against you. So alright, we just start spamming the magic and yes, it's this moment in the game you're really bloody happy in the event you gave Epsilon Mirror to Ica, because her being able to infinitely spam magic, oh yeah, that's bloody useful right there. So yes indeed, Ica and Fina gonna be spamming a lot of cocking magic in this dungeon. Oh, and here's bloody nice, sheer coincidence, the very first fight of this entire dungeon, we picked up the Daccat custom gun, which, Ica and Fina can't use because obviously it's for Gilda. So okay, when we reunite, try and remember we've got that. I can't remember how good it is. So, moving on, here we flipping go, and would you believe, yes, this symbol here, a boomerang crossed with a sword, that's basically the McGibble that makes you change between the teams. So, yes, after we're done with a bit of Ica and Fina, we go over to Vise and Gilda. The dungeons you may notice are, yes, rather similar, they've got a bit of symmetry going on. So hang about, just before we actually get to the chest there, we've got ourselves a bit of a fight to take care of, marvellous, and never mind, we don't have a fight to take care of, before the chest was the fight, because Zivalin Bane's shown up and he's cocking ambushed us again. Honestly, yes, given I can't use Cutlass Fury right now, once again we're lacking in a spirit, though we get slightly more on this team, because yes, Vise has got himself 3 points, not 2 per round at the moment. Yeah, let's just spam some basic purple attacks on you, no trouble, but yes indeed, the problem we've got on this team is the opposite of Ica and Fina. Vise and Gilda have both got, solid defenses, lots of health, very good physical attacks, etc, etc. But their magic is terrible. It's pretty weak and you don't have that many magic points, so yes indeed, you're kind of a bit inflexible in a way. You're going to be entirely dependent for the most part on basic physical attacks. So okay, just put Gilda over to purple as well, and let's see how this goes. Here we go, one basic shot, honestly not so bad. I'm guessing, yes, Zivalin Bane here has been, adjusted to be appropriate for only dealing with 2 people, and oh dear. On this occasion, Zivalin, I think you are in a cocking lot of trouble, because I'm now ready for Cutlass Fury. So just one more attack here. Generally, I think Voice is a tiny bit faster, than Zivelin Bane, but on this occasion, yeah, Gilda got a couple of shots in first, and here we flipping go. Zivelin finally gets to use one of his special attacks, and as you can see, they're not cocking nothing. That I think is like an area, like a Wevles. So yes, fortunately, Vise and Gilda were not standing too close together, so it only hit one person, and marvellous, that'll flipping do. Right, so that gets me one Zal Seed from the fight, and hang on, also from the chest, one Soul Crystal. Though unfortunately, despite sounding fancy, it is just a nice thing to sell for money. And the Vigor Defense Seed, yeah, I think we'll hold on to that until we've got the team back together. Though yes, you've got to say, Vise has got an easier run through this dungeon. If only because he's the one that gets, you know, literally everything. All of our items are with Vise right now, making it much bloody easier for him to do some healing. So just a mosey background to, yes, the main area here. Hang about, a few more enemies to deal with first. Though speaking of which, yes, this is where Vise and Gilda start running into a bit of trouble. Like, Ica and Fina can deal with large crowds with magic nice and easy, but a single tough enemy, that would be a bit difficult. As we just saw, Vise and Gilda, with their attacks, they can focus down single powerful enemies, no trouble, but large crowds represent a bit of an issue, so okay, this is highly unconventional, but I'm going to tell Vise to do some magic, because okay, it's not his best thing, but he can do it, like, you know, somewhat competently. Better than Gilda, at least. And bloody hell, the enemies are actually running away. So, right, well, this is all cocking embarrassing. And in comes, ooh, Incremus. Right, the step up from Incram, it basically affects everyone on the field, not just one person. So, okay, they're both a bit stronger right now, though I think that's only physical defense. So against magic, it does not help them in the slightest. And rather embarrassingly, yes, Vise is now using hit everyone on the field magic against one lone enemy. So right, Vise looks like a bit of an idiot right now, dear flippin' dear. And yet another cocking Moonberry game, chill out, I have got enough of them. Right, one more side room, make sure we don't miss any of the dungeon, and here we flipping go, because as you can see here, yes indeed. The only way to move forward as one part of the team is to hit levers in the other part of the dungeon. So, by sheer coincidence, we're going to be helping each other. So, over to, yes, the Mercantibble, and now straight back over to Ica and Fina, who can now move forward a bit more, and oh, this is just delightfully silly. Oh, and hello there, new enemies. We've got wall ranks, which are just, yes, ice-type walruses wearing small hats or something. So, okay. They're ice types. I think that means we know what we want to do. Fina, give him a Pires, see how that goes, and okay, you know what? Not a bad start, not a bad start at all. These guys appear to be pretty on the slow side, so if we're lucky, this should be oh, not quite the kill, but so bloody close. So, yes indeed, finishing off a slightly tougher enemies can be a bit of trouble, and okay, they're using Crystallis. That might actually hurt a bit, unfortunately, because yes, poor old Fina, she just doesn't have that much in the way of her health, actually. Which can actually be, you know, a bit of a problem in this dungeon, because, you know, just a reminder, we've got almost no cocking items, meaning we're also kind of dependent on our character's magic to do some healing. On which grounds I'm going to strongly suggest that, yes, we use Ica as a field medic. After all, we could just use Epsilon Mirror to top up her magic points if that's necessary. So, yeah, just basically use Ica for healing between every single fight. Anyway, just keep on keeping on, help ourselves to treasure, etc, etc. Here we go, chest gets me right, well that's good at least. Some nice emergency sacralin crystals, those are the tip-top best of the best crystals. Then straight back over to, yes, a lever to help out our dear friend Vise, marvellous, and doors open by themselves and levers that don't seem to do anything, so yes indeed. Poor old Ica does not understand what's going on, though obviously, you know, we get a much better view as to what's actually happening. Next up, just slap Ica on this lovely pad here, because we're going to be needing, you know, to have everybody standing on them. And here we go on to, yes, the panel at the end, meaning all of a sudden, both of us get to go forward, though, okay. So far, it's been nice and easy, just corridor to switch, corridor to switch, corridor to switch. Let's just say, yes, this dungeon's got some more interesting tricks up its sleeve yet. Especially when we start getting into, okay, rotating cocking rooms, would you believe? So, before we do anything, and make sure we get the treasure, as Ica and Athena here, marvellous. So, Maiden's Armour ×2 might actually be bloody useful on this occasion. Oh yeah, now that's pretty flippy good. In fact, yeah, I imagine that's going to be for everybody. Actually, you know what? It would give Athena slightly better magic defense, but at the cost of, yeah, agility, costing me some dodge. Honestly, I'd rather have extra dodge than extra magic defense, so we'll stick with the light coat for now. Right, so we've got that, and that's pretty much all we could do. Meaning, for the time being, straight over to, yes indeed, Visor Gilda, who have got their own stuff going on. So, just go over to this lovely switch and begin the room rotating, because, yes indeed, we're now literally in the same room, we just sort of don't realise it somehow. So up top, grab, there's some magical droplets, beautiful, and alright, just keep rotating the thing, if you'd be so kind, because I shouldn't have done that, should I? I shouldn't have done that, because, well, actually, hang on, just use the camera angle I've got right now. Do I need to go, wait, I need to go down over here. This is correct for me. And that also gets me Daccat's armor too. Okay, it's a tiny step up in physical defense, but magical defense is pretty bloody nice. So, we'll be taking that. Lovely. Okay, before I commit to, you know, the panel at the end here, just make sure that, yes, I've seen... No, I cannot commit to the panel at the end just yet, because, yes, what I need to do is make sure that Ica and Fina can get to the end of their dungeon first. So, okay, this is where this dungeon starts getting delightful. So hang on, 2 rotations should take care of this. I need it to, yes, rotate to the up position, and, John, Ica and Fina are at the top. Sorry, I was looking at this dungeon backwards for a second. Right, now that's in play. We just go back over to, yes, Ica and Fina. They can now get the other treasure, and also, yes, go over to where they actually need to go. There is some lovely magical McGibbles, beautiful. So, okay, you're now in the correct position, and now we need to start, yes, rotating this around so that Visor Gilda can get where they need to go, which is down, not up. So, oh, this dungeon is just delightful. And yes, I'm pretty sure we've got all the treasure, so we're now ready to move on properly. Okay, so we're back with Ica and Fina, and we've got ourselves, right, a switch point right there, together with a whole bunch of, yeah, just platforms. So, oh, hang on. I just heard a noise, but I'm not sure what it is. I'm sure it's fine. One more seed. We'll get back to that later. Beautiful. Just make sure. Oh, hang on. One more cocking sham. Lovely. We'll get to that in a second too. Oh, and very nice for us. We've got ourselves, yes, an ambush fight because the enemies are facing away. So, right, on this occasion, don't guard. Just do, like, you know, a double focus. Because that means, yes, we can use the Lambda Burst. Good. With enough left over to do a Pires. So, if we're lucky, the Lambda Burst, which will definitely go first because Ica's so much faster, might just clear the field before Fina has to spend her magic point. Because I think it doesn't get spent until you've actually committed to starting the move. And good that we did anyway, because yes, Ica failed to kill anyone. But if we're lucky, there we go. Pires finishes it. Good. So that worked out fine. Okay, one last treasure chest down here. Yet more cocking moonberries. Dear flippin' dear. Seriously though, as we just try and make our way across the room, yeah, Fina can take damage in like a hurry. Keep an eye on her. She can get into trouble very, very fast indeed. Seriously, I swear the enemies are intentionally bullying Fina because they know she's the softer prospect. So, just, you know, keep her in a tip-top shape and no trouble there whatsoever. And just make our way to the end of the room. So, Vice, meanwhile, is down in the catacombs. Lovely. Just to keep on grabbing everything we can, though. Okay, hang on. Hang on. Where's the Vice supposed to be going? His chests are going to be, you know, a bit more difficult to find because we can't just see them by looking around. And on top of that, hang about one moonfish down in the basement. We have got a lot of those. It's been a while since we had the opportunity to go and visit Doc. We are going to get a lot of rewards out of the vomiting bird when we do. So, okay. Everybody gets to move forward, though. Would you believe, yes, there's going to be a fair bit more complexity before we're done with the end of this. Here we flippin' go. This'll flippin' do the job. So, just a mosey in with Ica and Athena. Marvellous. May as well, yes, okay. Take note of what's where, which is right now, we can't reach the turny thing. Nothing we can do but go here and go back to, yes, Vise and Gilda, who are in not the same room, but the room below. That giant cog there is the same cog that's half sticking up into Ica and Athena's room, which I find cocky delightful. So, okay. How are we going to make this work precisely? Because, okay, we do have a switchy lever McGibble. Probably best we get that going. So, okay. Turn that once. And I can now, yes, go down to a switch and see what that's done inside Ica's room. And that gets me to, right, two separate lovely ways to proceed. So over to, yes, my left as I just was, that's the switch point. And the right is, okay, that is the twirly. So give that a twirl because, yes, if I do a full 180, well, okay, hang on. Hang on. That would get me to a good switch point, which is nice. But if I do like a full 180 here and get those guys down to the bottom, can I use that to cross over to this switch point? I can. And I feel like that's probably what I want to do. Don't just proceed yet. We're not quite ready. So, okay, what's that done to Vice's room? So, okay, Vice can now go down here and get up to there, which is good, presumably. Because, yeah, he's got to get up to a different location in the future. So, okay. I feel like Vice being here, not there, that's going to help out. So now go back over to Ica. And now I think we can now start, yes, rotating this back to how it was the first time, when it would have made more sense for her to go over to, yes, the McGibble by the wheel. Or at least, like, I imagined so. I'm just putting some estimates in right now, because we're dealing with, you know, gears through the floor and ceiling and whatnot. So, okay, you get to here. That's lovely. Switch back over, and I imagine there we flipping go. Had I been elsewhere, that would not have worked out. So, right, go to here. And at this point, we're not just opening doors anymore. Instead, we're actually making the cogs rotate the room, meaning the entire room's orientation changes, and in both rooms, we move over to the door, because I love this dungeon. This dungeon is just so damn cool. And, of course, the same thing is happening right here inside Ica's dungeon. Marvellous, though. Okay. Before we move on, yes, it looks to me like there might suddenly be, hang about, a ladder behind me. Make sure there's not anything that, you know, appeared in the room behind you, thanks to the new orientation. And never mind, that was the Skyrim door up there, so okay, that brings me back to the start, so okay. When we are ready to leave, it's gonna be, yeah, through that lovely ladder. Gotcha. Okay, instead, keep on keeping on in a straight line here, keep moving forward, and okay. Would you believe, based on the fact that, you know, there's suddenly a save point here, yes, we're almost at the end. So Ica and Athena just mosey on down to McGibble number 1. Meanwhile, yes, Vice and Gilda start moving up in the world towards McGibble number 2. And you may notice, by the way, Vice and Gilda were down in the basement the whole time, and they're now going up. Meanwhile, yes, Athena and Ica, they started upstairs and are now coming down, which, you know, makes me feel positive about a possible reunion soon. And here we flipping go right on to the switch here. Magnificent. And Okay, this isn't like, a particularly long dungeon, but it's one of my favourites of the game. Just, the giant gear room is just delightful. It's just a really beautiful room, and just the setup is just wonderful. So, okay. I believe that's what we came for. That's Daccat's treasure, and you can't deny, that's a pretty damn fancy treasure chest right there. That's got to be it. Now I can buy my own ship and go looking for Ica and Fina. And, good news, Vise, you might not have to. So look, Fina, the treasure chest is huge, and, yes, indeed I see it. Do you think it's Captain Daccat's treasure? And meanwhile, Vise declares who's there, and who's there yourself, and... okay, I guess maybe we're supposed to assume the lighting is a bit lower than what we're seeing, because I feel like they would have noticed each other by now if you could see the treasure chest. But here we flipping go. It's time for the team to reunite, which obviously means a great big hug from Ica to Vise, which is delightful. You're alive, we raised enough money to buy a boat. We were gonna go looking for you as soon as we got the treasure, of course, because... okay, you've got to say, Ica and Fina did a way better job, going to look for Vise. They've already bought a boat, damn it. Vise was still working towards buying his boats. And Vise, I'm so happy that you're alright. And Fina even sheds a tear. I'm sorry, I'm just a bit emotional right now. I'm just so happy. And Ica, Fina, I was so worried I was gonna buy a boat to look for you too. On top of that, I didn't know your partner was the cutie I met in Nasrad, because yes indeed, Gilda will immediately notice the utterly ridiculous series of events that stopped us actually meeting up in Nasrad. And we are indeed all together again, which is marvellously good news, and nothing could possibly spoil this moment. Apart from that mysterious shaking. Because would you cocking believe Daccat had, one final line of defense set up? And here it flipping comes, the boss of this dungeon, or, if we're gonna be precise, the bosses, because obviously it feels very thematically appropriate that in a dungeon all about two separate teams operating together, the boss is also precisely the same. Two separate bosses working in coordination with each other. So, say hello to, yes, Destra and Sinistra. Presumably very similar to, Dextra and Sinistra, which would be right and left in Latin. So, you literally came into the room via the right and left path, so I think we're supposed to, interpret these as maybe a right and left hand in the sense that they are a pair of fists that are about to smash you. So, okay, I feel like, yes, we should start off by taking on Sinistra. And I do have a very specific reason for that. Because, you see, Sinistra is colour-coded red. So, okay, we've now got all our items back. Beautiful. Just power up a Vise a bit, please, Ica. But yes, with all of our items back, that means, yes, indeed, Fina can start spamming the Crystales box. And the Crystales box is very highly effective against the red-coated Sinistra. So honestly, yes, everybody just focus on that for the time being. Power up Vise. Ica gets the first to move in, and... okay, it is nice to have the team all back together, damn it. Here we flipping go, one basic attack from Gilda, and you know what? That's not bad. That's not bad at all. So obviously this guy being purple, he's got, ice attacks of varying descriptions. Lovely, that's going to be the entire field, but we're okay for the time being. But yeah, honestly, we just want to take out one as soon as possible. When it's just a 4 versus 1, it's going to be a lot easier. So, in comes Fina, doing a pretty good job there, 400 odd damage. But yeah, Vise is going to be the real cocking heavy hitter right now. So, Captain's Hat, in crem, all the rest of it, here we go. Bloody hell, that was more than I was expecting. That's pretty good right there. So, the team now rotates and activates engage. So, I'm trying to remember what that does and I can't. So how about we, take him out before he gets the chance to do it. And, yeah, given the entire team did just take a fair whack of a knock, I'm going to say, Ica, drop a Sacrum Crystal that's going to, heal the entire team just to make sure everything's as it should be. And I tell you what, just for fun, yeah, Fina, you do a bit of green magic, because green magic isn't just healing. There's also, yes, the Noxy spells, which do a little bit of a green-coded damage, but also potentially poison the target. That's what it's really about. So, purple is, you know, a bit weak to green, so we'll start off by doing that, and yeah, we don't need to be worrying about red anymore. Vice is going to finish off red with his Cutlass Fury. Meaning I would say, yeah, Gilda can just go over to red as well and start just doing a bit of damage to Destra. So okay, obviously Ica gets to go first. That should be pretty much a given. Everyone else gonna be, yes, maybe a little bit more uncertain as to the turn order. But, okay, most importantly, Vice gets to go in before the boss gets to attack. So this should be a kill. Good. Number one, it goes down, and once it's just one, life is obviously, you know, a lot bloody easier. And here we go, a little bit of a Noxy. Let's see if we can get lucky and poison you. This probably isn't going to do much. Yeah, 157 damage. But if we're lucky, no poisoning. He may be resistant to it, I can't recall. Here comes a counter. Nothing too dramatic there, but yeah, because these bosses are red and purple, they're generally not so bad, because, you know, red is extraordinarily weak to purple, and vice versa. So just the right alignment can really melt them. Honestly, I think we might be able to finish him off for this round, so yeah. Ica and Fina, you both spam a Piri box each that we got from, yes, the fire dungeon back in the day, and Gilda, you just do a regular attack. So here we go, one basic Cutlass Fury should do a ludicrous amount of damage, and Piri will do something, especially given, yeah, a basic attack is doing 500 already. So, okay, Fina, what can you do? Okay, well, that was embarrassing. Apparently this guy's got ridiculous magic defense, and we just should not be worrying about attacking him with magic, because that was a little bit on the underwhelming side, I'll admit. Alright, here we go. Tundra Blast number 2. Obviously, you know, as we were saying, he's purple. Purple is ice. This is not too surprising, but okay. At this point, you're going down. Everybody else just in guard for safety. And in we flipping go. Nice easy kill. Pretty simple boss, all things considered. And straight away, that's going to get Vise up to a level 26. Lovely. So, loads of health. Honestly, not that much power. It is like, you know, a bit of a dice roll every time you level up. So, a bit of a poor level for Vise there. And on top of that, would you believe, yet more cooking seeds. So, okay, we need to, like, you know, do a bit of inventory and equipment shuffling in a second. But not, of course, before going over to Daccat's treasure. The thing we have been working towards this entire time, because, in a chest this gigantic and magnificent, obviously, it's got to be something amazing. Like, the chest is literally taller than our entire team. So, let's see what the greatest air pirate of all time has to offer. So, crack it open, and in just a second, obviously, we're letting Gilda do the honors, and yes, that face is, not a good sign, potentially. And as the rest of the team comes forward too, there's nothing cooking in here, aside from a single gold coin and a piece of paper. Brave souls that come seeking my treasure, do not be discouraged. You already have the most valuable treasures in the world. Comrades, trust, and cooperation, these are the only true treasures in this world. So, yes indeed. The real treasure was the friends we made along the way. Skies of Arcadia just straight up declares that, and it's wonderful. Unfortunately, Ica does not appreciate the value of, yes, friends and whatnot. She's instead somewhat annoyed that there are no gems and no jewels, though Gilda at least has very much seen the amusing side of this situation. I didn't know that Daccat had such a great sense of humour. I haven't laughed this hard in a long time, and a good laugh beats a bunch of gold any day. So yes indeed, Gilda is, you know, a delightful chap in his own way. So yes indeed, the treasure has brought us all back together, and friends are more important than any treasure. There we go, Fina's getting into the spirit of it too. Ica not so much, Ica is just all about the treasure, so I understand that friends are important, but he could have at least thrown in a bit of something for our trouble. First it was the Lost City, then it was Daccat's treasure. All of these old legends haven't paid off one bit. So poor old Ica is not happy about this in the slightest. So I'll bet the greatest air pirate of all time spent all of his gold while he was still alive. After all, you can't take it with you. So okay, Ica is not happy about this in the slightest. Some old bag of bones is in his grave laughing at us right now. We ran around like idiots this whole time, and we're still poor, and speaking of which, if you've got a very good memory, you might be able to start putting a few things together from right at the start of this game, because, to be clear, this was, Daccat's base and his hideout and where he hid his treasure and whatnot, but it's not Daccat's grave, and the game will never, formally confirm this or anything, but you may recall, way back in literally the first episode, the very first discovery we stumbled across was a mysteriously large pirate grave. Most of the engraving had been worn off by time, but there was still the indication that whoever was buried there, their name began with a D. So, I would like to work under the assumption that yes, that very first discovery nearby to Pirate Island might just have been Daccat's grave, suggesting maybe he retired and lived somewhere nearby to Pirate Island. And I can't prove that he may well be Visor's ancestor, but I choose to believe that's the case. Still, bare minimum, Ica's not leaving empty-handed, so we do indeed receive a Daccat's single coin. Meanwhile, right behind the chest we get ourselves, okay, a second unrelated Skyrim door. Well, in which case, what was that first Skyrim door for? Right, out we go, team. Though, John, before you do that, do not forget, there's a whole bunch of stuff you need to, yes, look at and assign, and you're going to forget if you don't do it right now. Okay, plain and simple, yes, the Sword of Daccat is a pretty good step forward, so we'll just be switching over to that. As for Ica, our priority with her is and always has been accuracy. Her boomerangs are really cocking accurate. So, you may recall last episode, we purchased the Assassin Ring from the Nasrad market. A ring crafted in Nasrad improves the chance to hit and also the chance of a first strike. So, with that in play, Ica's hit chance goes up to 190, which is going to make it much easier for her to assassinate loopers. On to Gildo. Right, we did pick up the Daccat custom from a random enemy drop earlier in the dungeon. It was just that, yes, it was being held by Ica and Fina. So, alright, not only significantly more powerful, it can also put enemies to sleep. Alright, not bad. I'm never going to say no to a bit of bonus status condition. And as for Fina, right, nothing we particularly want to be giving her, though. Okay, I'm going to do something right now I'm going to regret, which is, I'm going to attempt to explain Cupel, because Cupel is really bloody weird and complicated. So, you might work under the assumption that, as you feed chams to Cupel, he just gets stronger, and if you feed him one of the special chams we got from Nasrad, then he just jumps up a stage and gets stronger faster. And that's not true. Cupel's got an entire branching tree of things he can evolve into, depending on what order you give him the chams and the Iberic chams. That's why choms exist, so you can experiment and change it round, and for the most part, it's pretty cocking pointless. However, if you do it just right, there are some delightful comedy Cupel forms you can unlock, so I'm going to try and do that during this playthrough. So okay. Step 1, yes, I'm going to give an Iberic cham to Cupel right now. That's going to turn him into a star. Now I'm going to give you a bunch of chams, and this should hopefully be enough if we just keep feeding him more and more chams over time. He stayed in star form. I thought that would be enough to push him up to the next level, but okay, next time we run into a cham, hopefully that will be good enough. Right, with that done, I'll land some mosey outside, and okay, now I'm just curious whose boat we're going to take, because, Gilda's right here, but Ica is now a boat owner, so, okay, never mind. We'll, get to that in just a second, because, meanwhile, elsewhere, we're jumping over to Ramirez, because, okay, you may recall there was mention last episode of, it being physically impossible for the Valoran Navy to attack Nasrad, and, okay, it turns out Ramirez does not think it's actually that impossible. Admiral Ramirez, it's almost time. Everything is going according to plan. With the modifications to our engines, we were able to pass through the sky rifts, so yes indeed, that was their plan. Valor has been working on some very exciting, sexy new technology behind the scenes, meaning they can now cross all sorts of airstreams that were previously thought uncrossable. As a result, the Nasrad fleet is not guarding any approach that's covered by a sky rift. Basically, against the angle Ramirez is coming in from, Nasrad is completely cocking defenseless. And as a result, we could just walk in and take Nasrad without destroying it, sir. And I suppose we could, but I want Nasrad burned to the ground. And as you wish, Admiral, unfortunately yes, Valor has not come in for a peaceful occupation today. Begin the attack on Nasrad. And there we go, ships are going straight through air rifts, dear oh flippin' dear, this is not really supposed to be a thing. But yes, Valor has been working on some rather exciting new sexy technology behind the scenes, and oh dear, we're in, yes, by the looks of it, Gilda's lifeboat, so honestly I feel like this is a bit unfair to Icar. Like, you know, her and Fina worked really hard to earn their own boat, and apparently we're just cocking abandoning it here. Okay, I feel like we're going to regret this, because if Gilda needs to naff off like Clara did a couple of weeks back, then we're just going to be stranded in Nasrad once again. And honestly, based on what we've just heard, yes, let's just say it might be a bit more difficult to live a nice, peaceful, happy, employed life in Nasrad from now on. Speaking of which, yes, just so you're clear as to what Valor is doing right now, so yes, Nasrad is right here. There is the very narrow South Dano Strait, which we brought the merchant to back in the day, so that's so narrow that it doesn't take many guns to cover it. Most of the, yes, Nasrad fleet is guarding to the north, given, you know, Valor could come round from their continent right there. Leaving the North Dano Strait to the west of Nasrad, yes, as a way of accessing Nasran space from mid-ocean, but no one ever guards it because there's an air rift in the way, which is why, yes, Ramirez with his brand new ships can just walk straight in. Still, unfortunately, yes, like, you know, in universe these characters don't know anything about the imminent attack, meaning we've basically got nowhere we could go right now but back to Nasrad. Oh, and hang on the way there, I think I see Magnificent, a rapidly moving discovery that just happened to pass me by. The Map of Ages. What once used to be a grand map of the skies carved into a beautiful stone tablet is now a weather-worn crumbling slab of rock. It is said that the map is but a portion of the original, but no one knows what keeps it afloat, and okay, if you've been paying attention, you know what the answer is, okay? Whenever you're in doubt in this game, the cocking moons did it. Now you may be wondering at this point, yes, why precisely I would land at Nasrad knowing full well it's about to be attacked, and okay, there's a very specific reason for that, which is, if you try and, you know, leave via the South Dano Straits, you're simply not allowed to. Just in the same way as, yes, we needed to get a Valorant passport back in the day, we do not have permission from Nasrad to pass the South Dano Strait. They've got it locked down. So, yes indeed, there's literally nowhere we could go but Nasrad. Especially given, you know, presumably Gilda was planning to reunite with his crew there. So in which case I feel like this is a very bad idea, but into Nasrad we go. Though yes indeed, you may notice that there is a rather perhaps ominous blood-red sky floating about. But you know what, I'd say how about we wrap up today on a cliffhanger, because, you know, on the plus side, we've got the team back together, with a brand new member too. Good old Gilda's joined the party. Though on the downside, yes, we are about to walk into Nasrad at the exact moment the Valor Navy is about to attack, with the specific goal of burning the entire city to the ground while I'm inside it. So, yes indeed, let's say things aren't looking great for Vice and his newly reunited team. And next time, we're going to see, you know, just how cocking bad things might be about to get. So hopefully you join me for that. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been Skies of Arcadia. Thank you very much, and goodbye. If we just hide the bodies, nobody needs to know about this. Yes! My stupid plan has worked! It turns out I'm a genius! The giant rad scorpion is not gone! Oh, hang on, there's more yet though, I'm still being very shocked. Guys, where's the NCR? Nobody needs to know.